Welcome to episode 91 of SeerNova Podcast. It's Dylan's not here because he's just not here. He doesn't like me. So it's Josh and Peter, and you guys can say more about yourselves right now. Josh first.
Okay. Hi, I'm Josh, also known as J.R. Harris, comic book illustrator and an artist from Flint, Michigan. And I've worked on a handful of different comics, ranging from Heaven's Decoded to Astronaut High Schooler to Henry Graves, from sci-fi to paranormal and anything in between.
I'm Peter from Montreal. I'm the writer from Medallion Comics, currently working on Zenith Knight and another soon-to-be project.
Ooh. Are you going to talk more about that in the next episode?
Possibly. Right now, unfortunately, due to COVID, in ways you would not imagine, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it will then be brought up.
Okay. Yeah, I have a couple things that I kind of want to mention, but don't at the same time, because there is a person that's here that I'm working on something with, but I'm going to be soon.
But I do want to say that issue 3 of Zenith Knights is finally done, and it's going to be going up online very, very soon.
That's awesome.
It's been a year. Jesus Christ.
So, episode 91, I titled it Final Touches, and that's because we have some final touches on our platform before we actually launch a few things. So a couple months ago, we launched this thing called Nova Nation. And Nova Nation is like a Patreon, but for like not just one creator. It's for like a bunch of creators. So like the two that are here, Josh and Peter, and a bunch of others that are on our platform, they'll be able to use it as like their own Patreon on our platform. I came up with the idea a little with Dylan because I wanted to figure out a different way to make it so the subscription would work, because nobody really is really subscribing. And then we're like, oh, we have to get some exclusive things on there. So that's how we're going to do that. So there's a whole paywall, and it's literally the cost of a comic book, $4.99 a month. And you can get, there's like going to be discounts on the store, like the indie store. There's going to be a comic book web store that you don't need to be signed up for Nova Nation to get, but you can get discounts if you are under that. And there is like background stuff that you won't be able to see unless you're actually signed up on Nova Nation. So like, let's say Josh is doing the comic that we're going to start working on. And if you want to see concept art or something from that, you can only see that if you're signed up on Nova Nation. So it's pretty cool. Right now we have stuff for Chronicles of Horror 2, which that actually launches. By the time you listen and watch this, it would have launched, because it's launching the 15th. And this will be out 2 days after that. Yeah, and so Chronicles of Horror 2, you'll be able to see stuff from that, from like pencils to inks and colors. I don't put lettered pages on there because then it's like just a free comic to read. There's also Seer Chronicles issue 1 and 2, the issue 1 remaster is on there. You can also get a couple other things on there, like exclusive podcast, but we haven't really done that yet. But when we actually launch it next year, there'll be more stuff like that. There's also this whole Buy Me a Coffee thing that we have that you can actually sign up for, buymeacoffee.com/SeerNova Comics, and there's going to be a bunch of new stuff on there because we're fixing our whole podcast and show thing, because there's way too many shows that we've done this year, and it was mostly just because I've been waiting for my comic to be finished. And now
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So now that that's finishing up, we're getting rid of Hector is also moving to New Zealand next year, Yeah.
Dang.
So he wants one day of just not doing anything, and Sunday is that day. And I'm 100% sure Dylan is the same way. He's thinking the same. So we're gonna be actually just not doing breakfast talk anymore. Breakfast talk, the last episode of that will be during our Comic-Con, which is Thanksgiving weekend, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the Sunday is we're gonna be drinking, and there's this like game show that's like the last episode ever of Breakfast Talk. So that should be fun. We're still figuring out the game show, but I actually kind of want people from our platform to kind of like either be contestants or like some like asking us questions, something like we have to like, we're still figuring that out. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. And a couple months ago, I think it was like August, I was saying we haven't done anything really besides waiting for our comics to get finished. And then Dylan was like, there is actually a lot that we have done, but it's just things that people haven't really seen yet, like Nova Nation. And so a lot of things that people haven't seen, and I don't know if you guys been on the website lately, but minus he changed the Halloween logo to the Christmas logo. And
November's Christmas season.
I don't know, it's still pretty Halloween on the podcast right now.
Yeah, that's still
we're rebelling.
Josh actually made the Halloween logo, which is awesome.
There. Wait, where's my hand at?
I wish someone bought a hoodie or something of that, but I don't have money to get that because I would actually buy all of it. Nobody would. I already said that to Dylan before, and then he mentioned it last Sunday. The reason one of the reasons nobody is buying any of our stuff yet is because we're not like known really at all, and then it's just our logo. Like we need like character art. So like there's like someone that has bought Gavin's shirt from like one of our Kickstarters, because you could choose what shirt you want from the indie store. I went away with
so you're saying you want to start whoring out some of our characters, huh?
Well, if you guys want a design, you will be able to sell that through the store. I'm done with that on Kickstarter just for like a reason, because yes, like they can see the indie store, but it's just another thing they have to like search for, even though there's a link. But yeah, it's like super annoying. So yeah, like we're gonna there's certain comics that are coming out next year that are gonna be like, there's gonna be a lot more like character art to work with, and I can actually use that on like shirts or whatever. I really want to mention them, but I can't mention them yet. And then our video game is going to have merch just because of all the fake companies and stuff that we're going to be doing. So we have like soda companies and whatever, and we're actually going to be able to sell that and ship it to people.
Merchandise of fake companies from a video game.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's like buying some Duff beer.
Exactly. I mean, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I remember going into a shop and I bought some Duff beer. It was just orange soda.
Oh.
I was not disappointed. I like Crush.
Yeah, you'd expect more.
Yeah, there's
no, actually, Greg, real quick, you made a good point about like it's just being like selling just the logo versus like actually having character designs and stuff. Because like it did just kind of dawn on me. It's like, oh yeah, like you see a lot of like Marvel and DC shirts, but like typically like Marvel shirts. Like, well, no, and right, but like I'm thinking like typically people go after like the billboard shirts. That's what they Marvel does a lot and has like 800 characters in the one shirt. Like obviously, yes, Marvel and DC very well known, very well established.
Yeah,
but it's really you guys ever heard of the Ahigo shirts?
No.
Don't look it up, but whatever. Essentially, what they are is they take a bunch of panels from various books and they just make a giant collage, and basically the hoodie is just that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stuff like that. That's probably what's popular.
Matt
Yeah,
Myers wanted to do something like that for like Chronicles of Horror. He's like, oh, can we put like, well, the cover was a shirt, but nobody got the shirt. Last two Kickstarters ago, like last year, the first issue. I was like, I don't think people want a shirt like that. We have a shirt that's actually a character that I think people are going to actually get, and it's,
I think you're
Bobby
right.
T. It's our like killer turtle.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
one.
and I think it's one of the rewards. Like it's part of a reward. So like when you get, I forgot, $35 tier or something, that shirt is with that. So you would be able to get that.
Speaking of which, when is that? I remember I heard the Kickstarter is going to come back for that.
Yeah, it's relaunching Monday. And since I don't have to work Sunday because I have to bring my girlfriend to the airport, she gets to go on a plane. On a plane for the what's a plane? She gets to go on a plane for the first time ever and to Ohio, and so I'll be up because once I leave the airport, I'm just gonna go to sleep, and then I was thinking of launching it like 8 in the morning, and then
Pray for the best.
And it's only 14-day campaign, so it's gonna end on the 29th. So
Fingers crossed, my friend. Fingers crossed.
well, it's a lower goal, and there's a lot of people that already said that they want to help because I don't know, they just want to because I think that some people feel bad that like it just didn't fund the first time, and it was actually very close. It was the most money we ever almost raised. It was $4,370. I've never raised that amount yet, and then Matt was like, "Oh, I hope we get that back." I'm like, I just want to get it funded.
Because a lot of people don't realize that making comic books, especially indie, is very expensive.
Oh yeah. So I was at the post office shipping the stuff finally for our Seer Chronicles 2 Kickstarter, and there's like 3 people in the line behind us. There's more people in the line behind us, but the 3 people were the ones that didn't look like they wanted to kill me. And this girl's like, "Oh, what is it that you guys like have?" And I'm like, "Oh, these are comic books." She's like, "Do you guys like ship art?" Because they can see all the Gemini mailers. And I was like, "Oh, they're comic books." And she's like, "That's awesome." I was like, "Oh, yeah, it is." And then there's this other guy that's like, "So, like, you draw them all?" I'm like, "Oh no, like I hire people to like do that." He's like, "Do you do it all online?" I'm like, "Well, Facebook, I just like contact the artist and they're like, you want to do this, and then I pay them money, and then and they're like, oh, that's awesome, but it's probably got to be like a lot of money, and there's like a paper shortage and all that other stuff going on, but so I think printing costs are up a little because of that.
Yeah, but let's be honest, the printing cost is nothing compared to the actual making it finished cost. The creation cost.
Yep.
Yeah, because the art because the goal was so high on the first Chronicles of the original Kickstarter that we did in October, and that was mostly to pay for the art. And then I asked all of the artists, I'm like, "Do you care if you get paid like now or later?" And they're like, "Oh, you can pay later." And I was like, "Cool," because I want to like kind of cut down the goal. And they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "That's really why the goal was like 5,700, which actually the goal is 4,000. I think would have hit the goal if it was actually at that amount, because the goal was $4,378. But then I was like, let's round it up for some stupid reason, and it's like 1,000 something.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But shipping does cost a lot, and it costs a lot more right now because of the holiday. So when you ship something, I actually bumped up the shipping on this coming Kickstarter $2 extra for like US. So like international is probably it's still probably like not it's probably still more money over the amount that they pay for shipping, but because that's what they're basically paying on Kickstarter is shipping. You want the book like physically, you're gonna have to pay like
a lot.
Yeah, because saying 5K, that's like a reasonable estimate for how much a 25 to 30 page comic book is going to cost you to make.
Yeah, and then I was saying to Matt, because I have plans for future issues of Chronicles of Horror, and I actually already know what I kind of want to do for the third one, because I really like the TV theme. Is there's going to be at least 4 of them, and then he said, yeah, horror anthologies don't really last that long, and I kind of can't keep just doing it because
I don't know whatchamacallit, what's his face? Tales from the Crypt went on for a really long time.
Yeah, but like I don't think I don't think like his heart is in it really, so I I don't want to just keep doing something and then I was like, but he was like, why is it gonna take 2 years to make? And I was like, well, I have plans for the third one, and I already have everything planned out, like slated for next year for my stuff, which if you want to know more about that, just tune into our Comic-Con, because that's when we'll actually be talking about that. Yeah, so the third one will come out in like 2 years, and then hopefully the fourth one will be like maybe just a year after that. There might be 4 or 5, but I'm thinking probably 4 because I think I could end it at 4. And then
I'd recommend 4 because, in my opinion, 4 makes a good collection.
Yeah, and then
like especially at around 20-25 pages, you print them out together, put in a little bit of extras, you got a nice 100-page collection to sell.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a spin-off series. So like I actually asked one of the last things before the Kickstarter was ending, I'm like, which one of these 4 characters would you want to see a spin-off of? And it's actually Jason's character, the Lurker, because it's just creepy. And like there's a couple people that are like, oh, I kind of want to see that, but like there are people that I'm like, well, this isn't like a trading card, but like, would you want to see the turtle as one? And some people are like, yeah. It's like, cool, because I was already planning on doing that. And then my serial killer painter character is going to have her own series at some point too. But you can only do so much because money. So,
Yeah.
I was writing 2. I was going to start writing 2 more different series that aren't superhero related. One is inspired by planes, trains, and automobiles. I love that movie.
The film from the 90s, right?
Is it in the 90s or the 80s?
It was. I was thinking it was early 90s.
Oh, maybe it is the 90s. But yeah, whenever John Candy was still alive.
Oh, it is 1987. All right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was wrong. The more you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, it's just notes right now, but I have to like actually write it. The other one is just a fantasy series because like Dylan wants to like really do a fantasy series, and I was like, yeah, I want to do something that's like Princess Bride, but not so much Princess Bride at the same time. So
something with a little quirky attitude kind of thing.
Yeah, and I can also do a fantasy series that connects to our superhero universe, because there's like our first superheroes are like kind of medieval times in a way, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, so you guys have anything else right now?
Well, like I said, I just put out my 3rd issue of my main series, Zenith Knights, and I'm telling you, it's like a weight off my shoulders. Like, unfortunately, my my artist had a bit of an injury, so he took a break during the time, so there was quite a delay in getting it done, but it's finally done. It's ready. It should be out by the time this podcast is done or just about to come out. Greg, I will be sending you a copy as well, so you can put it on the partners program. If you want to actually see this one, you got to pay for it on the website. And I'm really happy because the Zenith Knight is actually a project that's planned to be 10 issues. So once the next issue is done, And I've written all 10 issues. It's not like I'm writing as I go. I wrote these like a long time ago. I've edited them. I've gone through them with a fine-tooth comb, everything. And once issue 4 is done, is what I'm really looking forward to, is I'm actually going to be printing it as a collection, issues 1 through 4, with some added content, special stuff, and actually make it available for purchase via print. There's actually options online where you can submit the PDF in the right format, and when people order it, they get a printed copy. And I'm waiting for that. I think once issues 1 through 4 are collected, it's the best story-wise completion that would be satisfying for somebody to purchase. And I can't wait to get that done. It should be out by next year. Aside from that, well, I got a little bit antsy this year, and I started writing a new project. I'm not going to say what it is. But it is a high fantasy series. It's kind of set in the same world, but we're going to be dealing more with supernatural stuff, and I am loving every second of it. And as my editor says, it feels like you're reading an action story. And Greg would know if Greg actually read the scripts like he said he would.
Yeah.
And I've actually had Black Rock Angel or oh my God, he has like 3 names on Instagram. I always forget them.
Abel. Yeah.
Abel, yeah. Abel has been doing some concept art for me, and I'm telling you, man, Abel is the best at that. You ask him to do something, he's super cooperative with you. He'll listen, he takes feedback, and he gets your stuff done really quick. He does good work at a good price. He takes all your comments and feedback, and he gives you what you want. So he's helped me out. Like, he really pulled through. He created a few characters for me, and I'm probably going to get back in touch with him sometime after to finish up the other characters, because I've written about 4 issues of 8 issues of my new series. Because me, I'm the type of person who's like, I want it all done before anything gets started. Like, so I have 4 more issues to write. So I told myself I'll write an issue a month. So by March, it'll all be finished. But then it's about getting the next series started. Unfortunately, due to COVID-related stuff, we'll say, waiting to see what's going to happen with the start date, if everything's going to go as planned, or if we're going to need to find somebody new to handle the project.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited. I got it done. It's written. I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait to actually start being able to show this new project. I think it's really going to stand out.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I
read it.
I think what I just wanted to mention what you said about, like, it's so funny when you're waiting for something to be produced, and like, if you're a creative person with creative ideas, you're bound to just start like a new project, like or like multiple new projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
it's so
very
easy to
much-
do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's a bunch of writers available ready to get stuff done, but we're kind of at the whims of artists. You know, it's like,
That
I
is
know
true.
it's that I can write like 100 books, but if I don't get the one artist who will draw the whole thing for me, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, you kind of feel like you have just all these things, and you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
last-
I got plans for days. Like, this brain of mine has arcs like that go on forever. I'm telling you, and I've only written one. There's at least 10 up here. And like, I've been creating villains for future arcs. It's all up here, but I can't get anything done until it's drawn. Obviously, like, you could like legitimately just write it and hope you can publish it in the written format, but who's gonna like? I want to get it done as a drawing. I want to get it done as a comic. It's what I want to do. Maybe one day I'll take my fantasy story and turn it into more of a novel style. It's not my favorite writing style, but you know, that way I can at least get it out there.
Right.
Cool.
Anyway, so that got away from me.
Greg, were you gonna say something, or?
Yeah. Last December, I actually wrote a bunch of stuff, because I kind of had, like, in December we like go away and we like disappear, which we're doing again. But I wrote 3 Actually, I wrote a bunch, but like I wrote a whole series that Josh is going to be doing. I wrote an entire like first plot arc in December last year, and that's gonna be starting. So I can't wait for that. And then I wrote a couple other different comics, and I had like some artist that's like, "Oh, I want to work on a book with you," and we haven't like reached. I haven't reached back out to her yet, but she's like, "Oh, yeah, I want to like do some book with you," and someone else said that too, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Oh, well, then I made just like plot ideas for like a couple different series, and I was like, "Oh, well, this one I actually want to do with someone else," but. There's one that's like kind of like Misery, but it's instead of a art author, it's a musician. So it's almost like the same thing, but it's got a little twist. And then there's another one, but I do not remember what it was. And then now I'm writing more stuff. And then Dylan was saying like a month or two ago to like just stop writing and focus on other stuff. And I'm like, you can't tell a writer to stop writing.
Well, it depends on your position. If you guys are putting together the website, you need to get the marketing stuff ready. You need to get the promotions ready. You got to get your Kickstarter funded. Because my brain, the thought process is, okay, my issue 3 is about to come out. What could I do to promote it? What could I start sharing? What could I start doing? Who should I contact? And it puts my writing a little bit on pause because you have your writing you want to do, and then you have your promotions you want to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. So
it's the eternal hustle.
Yeah, but like I'm the writer, so I can write whenever I can't, like, am able to. I can't write certain times at work because this annoying person I work with. But when this other person that's there, I can write because they don't come into the room every 5 seconds to annoy me. So I actually can focus. And then I actually made a kind of a deal, but we're still gonna like make a contract and stuff because this year I learned a few lessons. You should have a contract of some sort if you can. We're not super like legal people, like legal bound people or anything like that. But after some artists like took a while to get things done for us, it's more of like I want an artist to do things for me, and then they can go away for a little while and do other people's stuff. But I have like 1 or 2 comics done by them, so I can like wait to like slate them out. And that's what we're going to be doing with the artist for Ink and Scales. He's going to be now doing at least 2 books at a time for us, and then after that, I don't have to bug him for a little while, and then after, and I can like have something else being worked on while he's doing that.
When it comes to this stuff, you should always have a contract. You should always have something written between you two because. Because we're basically working on an honor system. I'm not going to take somebody to court because you didn't finish the book. But if for whatever reason you need to do something you don't want to do, and it's like, unfortunately, you're not producing, unfortunately, you're not doing this, you're using my stuff against what I want you to use it for, you have something written that you can use to say, like, well, we agreed with this.
Yeah. It's also any writing online, like an email or anything, that's technically like legally bounded as a contract. So
fun fact, I was actually looking into this here in Canada, the way copyright works. Just publishing, like me just putting my comic online and adding my name to it automatically puts the copyright on my name. Now I could go online and do some more official stuff, which I have, but generally speaking, just putting it out there with my name and my art, it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.